This is Angela Bayad with Mount Diablo Family Dentists, and this is our story. I've been in practice for over 21 years.
I never thought that I would be at a point that I would have a financial crisis.
It was very nerve-wracking.
And so I called Todd. I'm just going to say this, Todd is friggin' amazing.
Jamie and Angela have been customers of the bank for years. It's just been a wonderful relationship, and that's really what the bank is about.
When we really needed it, they were there.
I'm truly grateful for that.
The Corporate Leader Award is presented to a woman in the business community who has achieved success within her company while supporting the broader community. I am so excited to introduce you to these 5 amazing women.
My name is Lori Pfeiler, and I have been at the Building Industry Association for just 1 month. But prior to that, I was working for San Diego Habitat for Humanity, and I'm very passionate about housing. I learned when I was the mayor for the city of Escondido, you can vote for libraries, but so that people can have a better life. But it's when they have a home that they can call their own, that's when they can take care of themselves and create community.
Hello, my name is Jesica Holstein. I'm Vice President and Project Manager at California Bank and Trust. I've been with CB&T for a little over 13 years now. We're a California-based bank specializing in business banking and commercial lending. And we're part of Zion's Band Corporation, which is headquartered in Utah.
I'm Melissa Marin with MWM Retirement Solutions. I am the Director of Retirement Plan Services. So our company helps businesses and nonprofits oversee their retirement plan benefits that they make available to their employees. I am also the founder of the Dream Bigger Foundation, where we work with empowering young women that are at risk and providing them mentorship and resources to enter the workforce.
My name is Deanna Mackey. I am the president of the Public Television Major Market Group and the founder of Public Media Women in Leadership.
Hi, my name is Michelle Vargas. I'm the Manufacturing Ops Quality Manager at Ilumina. Ilumina is the #1 DNA sequencer manufacturers in the world.
How have you demonstrated leadership to your circle of peers?
So to answer the question, I think I have to focus on something that I'm very proud of, and it's the work that we've done at San Diego Habitat and the whole conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we wondered, how are we going to go about dealing with that issue at Habitat? We have Habitat has a retail operation, we have a fundraising, we have a construction department, we have a family services department, and then the administrative communication. So very diverse activities in the organization, and how do you bring people together? And we didn't want to hire a consultant, so we put it out to our employees. So we provided leadership opportunities for our employees, and we said, anyone that wants to participate, come and be part of the committee. And then that's how we created the leaders for us to engage in that conversation. And they've been going on for over a year, and what they've brought to the organization is very organic, strong leadership, and much more buy-in, because it was our team. It wasn't me leading it. It was providing an opportunity for our employees to provide leadership to the organization.
One of the ways that I demonstrate leadership is, most importantly, by leading by example. I make a point to work as hard as my team. For example, our bank was a major contributor to the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP. The first round launched on a Saturday night in April 2020. It was at a time when the country and the world, for that matter, was going into lockdown. There were so many unknowns with the economy and the toll that the pandemic would have on small businesses. And my team, our bank, had like a real opportunity to help these small businesses. So knowing this, we stayed up processing applications from program launch until the funds were depleted. Similarly, the second round launched on a holiday weekend in January 2021 in an attempt to make the working holiday weekend fun, and every weekend for that matter, and there were many. We threw in things like, the leadership team threw in things like, friendly competitions among team members, virtual coffee breaks at 9 p.m. to keep us going. We would tell bad banker jokes to keep motivation up. But most importantly, we would give progress updates to the team so that they could see the impact that they were having on the community. At the other end of every application was a real business, a real family, real jobs that were being saved. Also, as a leader, it's also extremely important for me that my team is recognized for their accomplishments. Through PPP, which is the best example, the team was nonstop working just record-breaking weeks and doing a phenomenal job. So I made a point of recognizing them among their peers so that they could be applauded and recognized for their efforts. Also, if a team member went above and beyond or cracked the code on a difficult application or became a subject matter expert in a nuanced aspect of the program, I really made a point of sending their direct manager and the executive over their department or division a note so that they could be recognized at the highest levels. I know that's something that, I personally appreciate. PPP, it was just extraordinary. It was unlike anything I've experienced in my entire career. But regardless, I believed then and I believe now in work-life balance, especially for my team, which wasn't entirely possible for the program. So we had been working for a long stretch of time, and I just needed some time, away with my son. So I took him on a hike, just a short, 30-minute hike around our house. And I sent picture proof to the team, which let them know that I am human. I take breaks. I need to spend time with my family. And that allowed them to allow themselves to step away to do really important and necessary things like tucking their kids into bed or having dinner with their family or getting outside for 10 minutes.
So I'm a big advocate for empowering women around me. And when I started the Dream Bigger Foundation, I wanted to create a platform that helped at-risk teen youth by developing mentorship from other female leaders in our community. And really the way it started is by opening up dialogue and sharing my story with other women. And as I started to open up with these women and listening to them, I was hearing their story, their challenges of how they got to their points in their career, and learning from the experience of others. So as a community leader and helping with developing a program to help mentor these at-risk girls, really we can never stop listening to those around us. What's helped our program grow is feedback. So feedback from the community, feedback from the girls, and everyone around us. And together, everyone working collectively is how we can be the change and bring down barriers. So every year with the Dream Bigger Foundation, we do an annual luncheon in honor of International Women's Day. And we mentor young girls by talking about a variety of different subjects, from health and wellness to career readiness skills. We partner with organizations such as the Goodwill of San Diego, Lawrence Family Jewish Community Center, the Chicano Federation, and provide resources to young girls to help them enter the workforce. One of the events that we did was a Dress for Success on a Budget. So we showed the girls how to go shopping at the Goodwill, find some great interview clothes. We also reached out to the HR community and helped them build a library for us of interview questions that the girls were then able to answer and really help prepare them to enter the workforce. The last year was definitely challenging with COVID, getting teenage girls to attend an online event, but we were able to pull through and had about 40 girls that participated in this year's event. We're looking to continue to grow the organization and also offer it to more schools within San Diego County. Right now, we're focused on Crawford High School, which is a very diverse school with a number of their students that are eligible for free lunch. So about 99% of the students that attend there are from a low-income household. And because of that, we wanted to focus our efforts starting there, and then we'll expand upon it, opening it up to more schools as time goes on.
I have really been interested in leadership my whole career. I started out as a journalist in public media, and I was one of the youngest people to go into a leadership position at my first station. And I was sort of pushed into it, but I actually found fairly early on that it was something I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed helping people and mentoring young people, especially women. And so in that vein, about 6 years ago, I started an organization called Public Media Women in Leadership. And my industry, public media, public radio, public television, didn't have any resource for women who are aspiring to the highest levels of leadership in the industry. And the challenge with that was our numbers for women in those positions were pretty low, 20 to 25%. So I feel that the opportunities I received pretty early in my career to go into leadership, but realizing that I didn't have a lot of role models and I didn't have a lot of training within the industry to prepare myself. I had to do a lot of my training outside of the industry through the university, through other opportunities that were provided or that I sought out myself. Being able to found Public Media Women in Leadership gave me an opportunity to give back to younger women who I saw promise in, or frankly, who saw promise in themselves, but didn't have training available at their own organizations. So we have provided a pretty robust mentorship program where we match women who are current CEOs with women who want to join the C-suite, as well as younger women who are in their first 5 to 10 years in the industry. They're matched with middle management women and men to help them on their career path journeys. And we also do a lot of training, webinars every other month, as well as a workshop and a conference annually where we have speakers from inside and outside of the industry to both help women with leadership training, but also help women find their voice and find their confidence so that they will realize they can go for these jobs and they can succeed in them.
There are various ways that I have demonstrated leadership positions and skills, both at Ilumina, in the company, and in the community. One of them is I'm a quality manager of several quality engineers. Some of them are female. I help them grow in the role. I help them develop. I help them promote them. Other things that I do at Ilumina, I'm also the chair of a group called the American Society Quality Focus Team. There, I teach others about quality tools. I promote certifications in quality, and I encourage them to go to conferences and other things. In the community, I hold several different leadership positions. One of them is I'm a mentor in the Assoc Mentor Program at San Diego State. In that program, I usually just recruit mainly MESA students. MESA stands for Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement. And the students that I select are mostly first generation female engineers. I guide them throughout their path in college, and I help them as they enter the workforce as well. To help even more of the MESA students, I'm also part of the MESA Industry Board, which I support other universities in San Diego and other city colleges with their MESA program as well. I'm also part with the San Diego student. I was a speaker for the Women in Science Society. I promoted women. I talked about different positions in quality, etc. I've also been part and a speaker for the San Diego State Society of Hispanic Professional Engineer, SHPE. And I also helped nominated a group on campus, the NSBE, the National Society for Black Engineers. And I'm happy to say that they won the award that we helped put together. I'm also an ASQ, American Society Quality, the Deputy Regional Director, and the Next Generation Co-Chair of the Pacific Region. Also, another group that I help little girls is called FabFem. I'm a role model that I was introduced with that group from the Society of Women Engineers. And this is where I connect with little girls to make sure that they know about careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I'm also the education chair for the SDCEC, San Diego County Engineering Council, And there I have held for 2 years in a row network and mentoring events for middle school, high school, and college students. And finally, I'm a leader in my community and do community work even outside the country in Mexico, Tijuana, Philippines, and the United States, where I provide backpacks full of school supplies to over 1,000 underprivileged children every year for the last 10 years.
How have you supported women-owned businesses in our community?
Well, to start off with, I really focus on fighting against the bureaucracy the bureaucracy says that we want minorities and women-owned businesses to participate in the construction industry or just engage in the activities that we're doing. But then they make the rules so complicated that small businesses and women-owned businesses can't compete. They don't have the resources or the wherewithal to be able to even bid for a job. And so I will constantly bring that up, that this is what you wanted, but these are the rules that you put in place that hinder the ability for women to participate. And I will be very specific about this part of the rule or this part of the rule, in hopes that they will change the rules so that they will actually get what they want. We also I've traditionally been in male-dominated industries. And so it's about inviting women to events and encouraging them to participate. And if you watch, men interact differently with men than they do with other women. And so it's getting together as women, practicing talking about what the differences are and how can we engage so that we can actually get the business. We have to get women into those leadership roles so that they can build out the contracts, get the RFPs and so forth. But they have to learn how to have that communication skill. And I always bring up this story. I was participating in a fundraising event for a nonprofit. So I volunteered. So I'm checking people in, and it was more related to contracting, right? There was a general contractor that was the major sponsor. So all of the subcontractors came to the event. All of the guys showed up an hour and a half early. They threw out their money to buy the mulligans. They chatted, they were eating lunch and engaging with each other. The two women that participated in that event did not show up until 5 minutes till noon. And I was just so disappointed. And so I always use that story for women. We need to show up, we need to participate and support one another. And maybe more than two women needed to show up so that they could have a little group and be able to engage in that conversation. So mentoring one another, supporting one another is how we're going to be able to take over.
I love that. You bring up an important point, that kind of unsaid rules of networking in an old boys network, right? That's really, really interesting.
It's difficult because they just engage with themselves so naturally. And when women show up, they don't know how to engage. And we need to learn how to do that. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but we need to learn how so that we can be successful as well.
Being that I work for a bank, we are an SBA preferred lender providing loans to a variety of new businesses. A number of these loans go to new female entrepreneurs, helping them to launch their businesses, which is extremely important given that 30% of all new businesses are women-owned. But the best example I can provide is personal to me. My best friend is an extremely talented and driven salon owner. And when she decided to take a leap of faith to start up her own business, not having a lot of startup funds, it was family and friends, my family included, including my then 3-year-old, who rallied together to literally help build her business. So we painted, built shelves, wrote copy for the website, anything that was needed. The finished product is something to be really proud of. It's beautiful. And although she faced the same hardships as many small businesses did over the last year, I'm happy to report she weathered the storm and survived. PPP helped her as well. She was able to keep all of her employees on payroll, and I was luckily able to help her navigate the process, given my knowledge of the program, a program that wasn't always easy to navigate.
I often join and participate in women-led networking groups. And for me, it really starts with finding women that are that entrepreneurial mindset. I know sometimes as women, we kind of shy away from entering that space. Just, you know, we're managing a household, we have kids, it's a challenging thing. So anytime I'm doing networking, I try to make it inclusive. How can we create an event that other women will attend? Sometimes it may not necessarily be a nighttime event. Maybe it's a lunch event, because I know it's harder to get away from our families in the evenings, where a lot of, you know, events that are kind of catered toward male and females might go into the evenings. It's a little bit more challenging as women to be able to attend some of those types of things. So I always keep that in mind, because as a mom myself, it is a challenge with networking and being able to attend happy hours and things like that. It's my husband can do it. It's a little bit more challenging for me to step away and do those things. And really learning about the stories of these women, helping them promote their business, whether it's through social media or introducing them to resources. Through the various years in my industry, I've built out a really great network of people to be able to introduce other women to help provide them with resources. So whether, you know, it's banking resources where we can help them get financing for a loan, or maybe it's through an organization that can help them with building a blueprint for building their business. Being able to provide resources to my networking community is huge. And I feel like by raising each other up and channeling the power of collaboration, that's really how we're going to make the change in helping women achieve success in the business industry.
I do a lot of work helping women, whether it's through my nonprofit or through my day job, ensuring that they have opportunities for leadership training as well as mentoring. And specifically, one of the things that I try to do is look for women, whether it's locally here through my engagement with Hera Hub or on the national stage with the work I do, to find women who can be speakers. Both the organizations that I work with, Public Television Major Market Group, which represents the 40 largest stations in the country, as well as Public Media Women in Leadership, which is the nonprofit I run, we do a lot of events. We have 3 conferences a year with PTMMG. We have 2 big events with PMWL, as well as a lot of webinars. So that's given me opportunity to expose some of my sisters at Hera Hub and the work they do to the women in public media across my industry, as well as through PTMMG. I've met some really interesting people here in San Diego. One I'm thinking of in particular who's done quite a bit with me is Patty Perez, you know, and she was involved with Hera Hub for quite a while and has done some terrific sessions on DEI, on HR, and from my perspective, HR the right way, HR from the perspective of leaders understanding their role as being the person who's investing in another person, not playing, you know, having a power role. So it's been great to meet these women and be able to put them on a stage within public media and introduce them to a lot of my colleagues. And some of them have been hired as a result of that. So that's been really gratifying too.
The way I support women is by helping women realize their full potential as I support them pursue their goals, become corporate leaders, be entrepreneurs, or participate in different corporations and help them strengthen their skills. Consistently, I work with women organizations, nonprofit groups. For example, last month, I participated in the SWE, Society of Women Engineer Awards banquet, where I cheered on all the women that got awards in the San Diego community. There were also girls from high school and middle school that got awards in science fairs and robotics fairs, in math competitions, and I was there to cheer them on. I was also an co-organizer of a Zumbathon to raise money and awareness for a nonprofit organization called Leap to Success. And this is an organization that empowers women recovering from domestic violence and homelessness. Another meeting that I attended about 2 weeks ago, a new group in the area in San Diego that just formed called Women in manufacturing. It was a great opportunity for me to network with women, see other leaders, see other entrepreneurs of other businesses, share my stories, share their story. They provided me tips. I provided them tips. So it was just a great overall networking experience. The way that I offer help to these women is give them my advice and career goals. I help them with resume. I practice mock interviews. I do everything I can to encourage them to pursue higher degree. And in a way, what I do is I act as a trusted advisor to them.
What have you done to foster diversity and inclusion in your organization?
So in my industry, the question is, what have you done to foster diversity and inclusion in your organization? Well, you're going to have to give me a chance. So the Building Industry Association is a male-dominated organization, and we need to build career paths for women in construction, land development, entitlement, to have actual builders, civil engineers. There's so many fields that pay such good wages, family stabilizing careers that women would be very good at, but we need to aggressively mentor and provide opportunities and awareness of those careers. And so we might be aware of those careers, but one of the factors that hinders women from getting into those fields is we have to improve access to capital. So women do not always qualify for that capital investment as easily as men do. And we've really got to focus on that, because if you don't have the capital, you can't start a construction company, you can't build houses, you can't entitle, you don't have the capital ahead up front to really, because we don't make any money until you actually sell the home, right? And so we need to provide that access to capital. We also have to mentor women to be lobbyists, to influence the decisions that elected officials are making, so that we can ultimately, I will talk about housing all day, but if we do not stabilize our housing and people are chasing cheaper housing, we will not have community, we will not know one another, and women know that more than anyone else. And so that's where we need to spend some time and invest in women to get them into those careers. So give me a chance. I just started.
Well, I'm proud to say that I work with a company that is majority minority. We also have a vibrant and growing diversity, equity, and inclusion program, of which I am an active member. Especially over the last year and a half, this program has been extremely important to me and many other associates throughout our company. The group that I have a leadership role in is the Asian Pacific Islander Leaders Group. And in light of way too many awful news headlines, the leadership team made it a priority to schedule listening sessions that was open to the entire DE&I membership, so all of the business resource groups. And this was in an effort to provide a safe space to talk, to share personal stories, and really to just listen. I also make a point of joining other business resource groups meetings as an ally. And every time I join, I listen, I learn, I leave inspired and with more knowledge than I did before joining the meeting. And then most recently, I was given the opportunity to build out and manage a summer internship program. We were able to hire an extremely talented and diverse group of college juniors and seniors. And we really hope that they'll come on board to have permanent positions with us in the future after they graduate to add to the diverse talent of our organization.
I am also in an industry that has historically been male dominated, and I started in the financial services industry at a very, very young age and quickly learned about the gender and ethnic gaps associated with being in that space. And that's really what's led to my passion to become an advocate and help others that are experiencing similar challenges. Now, having so many years in this industry, I have seen the industry evolve and it has gotten better. But there's still been times where I'm sitting in meetings with some of my male coworkers, and the person that is talking to our group is talking to my male coworker instead of me, who is the one making the decision. And at the end of the day, seeing that it's still relevant in this space is kind of what drives me to continue to want to make it evolve and make it change so that others don't have to deal with those types of things when they enter the workforce. So that's what led to my passion for building my foundation. The girls that we mentor are of all ethnic backgrounds. And so for me, creating a team of mentors that was inclusive and reflective of the girls that we are mentoring was extremely important. And it was done purposely. I wanted to make sure that the girls were able to relate to other women, to see women that came from all social economic backgrounds and how they've been able to overcome challenges that they've had. I also wanted them to be able to see other women that looked like them, that dressed like them, and make sure that they felt that included in the discussions that they were having and that they can see where they could potentially be one day if they put the effort in. And so it was a very purposeful, driven discussion as we started building our mentors, and even as we bring in more mentors, making sure that we're keeping that in mind as we continue to grow the organization.
So DEI is really important to me personally, especially as a Latina. I was within my own industry, I was one of the youngest. And frankly, I used to always say the only person with a tan on the national stage in leadership positions, often speaking about the work I was doing in public media. And because there were so few women and few women of color in positions of leadership, I got asked to do a lot of panels and a lot of public speaking about not just being a woman of color in leadership, but various, work I was doing in journalism and in engagement and so on. So work in DEI and ensuring that all voices are heard and all voices are represented, especially in leadership, is critically important to me. I think that the work I've done with public media women in leadership is probably the best example of that, because we really make sure that the speakers we have are diverse, the people who participate in our mentor programs are diverse, the different webinar topics that we cover. We really try to think about diversity as well, ethnically, racially, generationally, gender identity. We try to cover a lot of those areas, because I think that one of the things I've learned in recent years about leadership is, as leaders are having to grapple with a lot of issues in racial and social justice, I think they often think it's something that they provide a workshop or they have a conversation and it's over. But the truth is, diversity of people will never end. The diversity of people that come to work for us or that we need to lead and mentor are constantly going to be morphing. And I think we need to move to a place as leaders to understand that acceptance and providing a place for belonging is what's important, not worrying about, did I finish this? Did I meet the needs of this one group? Because the groups will continue to change and morph, and the needs will continue to change.
I'm very fortunate to say that I work in a place that fosters diversity and inclusion. At Ilumina, our CEO Francis De Souza, supports all sorts of employee resources group that participate in events or participate as speaker or be an ally to. For example, one of the groups, this one formed in February during Black History Month. The group name is Be Great. It stands for Black Employees Giving Racial Empowerment and Trust. And I was honored to be selected as a career panel speaker to talk about my career as a minority and how I help the community and how I overcome challenges in the workplace and in the community. I'm also proud to say that there's an iPride group for LGBTQ community, and they provide all sorts of speakers, events, Pride Month in June, etc. And Illumina was actually recognized in the Gender Equality Index and the Human Rights Corporate Equality Index for LGBTQ best places to work. I'm also part of WIN, Women in Network, and they bring all sorts of speakers to Illumina about leaders in the community that are women, how they made it up the ladder, etc. Also part in another group from Illumina called Illumina in the Community. There is where I first got to be a leader and give back to underprivileged children and minorities in the San Diego County. One of the things that I participated was the 3rd annual Girls in STEAM conference at UCSD Per School. I was a mentor to about 100 girls that day. Also participated at USD and in the STEM WOW program. And again, all of these were opportunities that were given to me as part of the Illumina in the Community Employee Resource Group. I'm happy to say we have a Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion. Her name is Dr. Lisa Topping. And the way that she summarized all these employee resource group for diversity and inclusion is, she said, we stand together and then we change the world. And that's exactly what all these groups mean to me. And we do it one at a time, supporting one another.
Share something personal about you, something you really enjoy doing, or a fun fact.
For me, I rarely cook the same thing twice. So if you come to my house and you really like it, you'll never see it again. It's because something new, a new recipe will come out. You see it in the newspaper, or somebody shares, or my new magazine will come out. So sometimes people get frustrated with that. It's like, but there's plenty of things to cook. And I really want to learn how to juggle so I can have a retirement gig. You know, if you go out there and you're a street performer, you can earn your beer or wine money. You just need your little beer or wine money. So I need to practice on learning how to juggle.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that you call it beer or wine money.
We're probably not going to earn much more than that. So if you have a good day, you might get one beer, and that's all you get for the day.
Okay, yes. You can't have more than one beer because that's all you earned, right?
That's all you earned, exactly. Just stick with it. It's just, life is okay, but you just have to have a little fun, and you need to think about what you're going to do in the future.
Fun fact about me is I am an accidental banker. I went to college with every intention of becoming a speech therapist, even earning my degree in speech, language, and hearing sciences. But the universe had different plans for me. And I can't say that I'm upset at all with how things have turned out. I still get to help people, just in a very different way.
What is something fun about me? Well, I love the arts. It allows me to express my creativity. As a young girl, I developed a love for music. I played in my school band and sung in my school choir. And I actually sung the national anthem at my high school homecoming game, my senior year. So that is a fun fact. I also have a passion for cooking and doing arts and crafts, and I enjoy sharing family recipes with my 8-year-old daughter. And together we work on creating fun new family meals. For us, cooking, music, and creating art really creates a bond and allows us to create memories that we can cherish.
My fun fact is that I've been an active Girl Scout troop leader for 13 years. I have the largest older girl troop in all of San Diego County. We have 17 girls, and they will graduate from high school in June.
Yeah, something that I discovered during the pandemic, right, and being in lockdown for a while, is walking in the outdoors. It's something that I truly find passion on. I walk 5 times a week with my husband. We walked at Old Poway Park, Lake Miramar, the neighborhoods, and the one that I like the most is La Jolla Cove. It seems like there's no same day at La Jolla Cove. We have seen anything from the sunset every day to watching the seals in their natural habitat. I almost feel like I'm watching National Geographic alive. I like putting my foot in the sand, touching the water. And then we've seen all sorts of events there at La Jolla Cove. Like we've seen girls' night out events with a very nice setup, a picnic setup. We've seen weddings. We've seen engagement celebration. I've seen quinceañeras photo shoot. I've seen a person in a one-wheel skateboard with lights and everything like that going all around the beach. And then the last thing that I saw recently that I never seen at the beach in my life was a full mariachi band playing for a wedding proposal. So I stayed and enjoyed the music and saw the happiness of the engaged couple.
Thank you for watching the panel release for our Corporate Leader Award. You now have 1 week to vote for your favorite corporate leader. So go to bravaawards.org and vote today.